This thing just looks like a Datsun, doesn't it? No? Tony de Oliveira from Blacktown in New South Wales. And might look like a Toyota Corolla, but it's got a 302 in it. Well, when you have a deco at it, would you? This looks like a stock little Toyota. That would be a fair handful. That thing's got about a 91-inch wheelbase or an 89-inch wheelbase. And boy, is it a tyre fryer. Must be gangs of fun to drive. Tony de Oliveira from Blacktown in New South Wales. Handle it. Little puff of smoke from those front tyres right on the line. Good one, mate. Here's a tough car for you. An ex-Brock Group A motor in the car. You see the injector stack sticking up through the bonnet. I really need to count this one. A nice paint job too. He says on the form here it took 2 weeks to paint the car and 4 cartons of beer. But signwriter by trade, Rob. A very smart little car. Don't scratch it, Rob. A little bit of sideways finishing there. Not bad. Good run. David Fogarty now. You know, a stroke 308 XU1 Tirana. He's a foreman at a Holden dealership. He's here with his girlfriend. Had the car for 5 years. And he came to the Summernats in 1986. It's got a Saginaw gearbox in it. That's not a sagging all over the place gearbox, but named after the town of Saginaw in which they're made. I think Saginaw is in Michigan. But a pretty tough little car. And some good runs early in the piece this morning. A little bit of a lock-up for David as he approaches the finish. Bit of an overshoot. We have Gary Myers up behind the start line in the blown Mustang. So, John Tuddy, let's have a talk to Gary Myers.
It's good to see you back here again, Gary. Having a great time so far?
Yeah, shit chair.
How's the car going? Last year you had a bit of a disappointing run. How's the car going this year?
Excellent.
So we can expect a top run?
Yep. Okay, mate.
We'll be watching you. Okay, back to you, Mel.
Thank you, John Tuddy. And here's one of the most popular cars at any Summernats, a really good guy from just down the road in that blown Windsor engine Mustang, drives the heart out of the car, stays here on the complex all weekend with his brothers and his friends. Who said you can't put a blower on a Ford engine? Is that tough or what? And Gary did most of the work on this car himself. And Gary comes from Wagga Wagga. But Gary, please do not put it into the guardrail. We were horribly close last year. Neato, Gary. That's good and straight. And he is stopping right on the mark. So that was excellent. Greg Young from Bargo in New South Wales. Has a 454 big block in this car. Smoking them is easy when you've got a 454 up front. Stopping it's not so easy. Has a 460 big block Ford in it. Now I've got a 460 myself. You put it in a 3,000 pound car with a 10-foot wheelbase, they're a hell of an engine. You put them in one of those, like a Cortina's got a 97-inch wheelbase, I think, or 101, something like that. It's a different story. Very controllable. Overshoot by a whole car length, unfortunately. We just roasted some exhaust pipes right off the car. What we have out here is one of the world's great party animals. A guy who revolutionised the Go to Woe, or the Motorcana and the Burnout competition some years ago. He and a couple of other guys were the officials pointing out to Karen, Mrs. Cusso, the fact that two of the headers just fell off. So don't worry about it. Queensland drag races are different kinds of people. Now, one thing I'd like you to appreciate out there, that drag slicks don't smoke as much as street tyres, and that the suspension on these cars is set up to make traction rather than lose traction like some street cars do. So this is a good example of what a drag car does. Mightn't make as much smoke, but boy, they're pretty serious. Righto, Ford fans, put your hands together for Gus. Well, he didn't stop it on the line, but at least he missed the lights. Now that's just a mild one for Victor Bray. And we had Nat Cam in that car during its pass. You want to see it again? Let him know. Now the engine in this car is worth more than your normal family sedan. It is a very highly tuned, very expensive unit. And to do to it what Victor is doing here this afternoon is worth lots of bucks. Victor's doing it because he likes you folks. And Victor Bray has a fair following right throughout Australia. The ultimate cult. Shifted in the middle of all that. Put your hands together for Victor Bray. One hell of a man. I was just going to say, they're pretty small hands for a guy. This is Debbie Yo. Yes, I can definitely see further inside the car. It is definitely not a guy. So Debbie, about to take this pretty car, pretty lady in a pretty car, through for a qualifying attempt in the Go to Woe. And it's all happening. Right on the button. Who said the ladies can't drive? Put your hands together for that one. That was a goodie. This is Michael Bellinger from Ulverston in Tasmania. A Taswegian. Brought it across the channel. It's great to see the Tassie guys here. And chicks from Tassie, did you know that? So Michael McGrath now with a cute little yellow Tirana with 350 Chev on board. Does all kinds of good things for Tiranas, bolting a 350 Chev in it. I like the number plate, one Tough LJ. Another Victorian big and little car with the big tyres on the back and the little tyres on the front. A little loose in the braking department, of course. When you do that on 3-inch razor blade tyres, it's going to overrun a little bit. And we have a brave cameraman in the back of this car. Actually, there are two silver and blue 55 Chevs getting around the complex this weekend. Isn't it amazing? 55 Chevs and 57 Chevs. They are good looking things. True classic. Cameraman holding the lipstick camera out the window. That is really a plastic arm as approved by safety regulations. We just like to cross over to Peter Fitzpatrick.
Peter, you must be seeing all the action here. You must be really disappointed you're not out there.
Yeah, it gets old hard drive, but mate, we'll make it. And
What's the word on the car, mate?
unfortunately, we didn't make it. The panel shop and the paint didn't come off the way that we thought it would, so it's still in the paint shop. But hopefully, it'll be finished in a couple of weeks, and I'll be here next year.
I understand all you needed was just a couple of weeks to finish it.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably we missed out by about 3 weeks. So the year's 3 weeks too short, I think.
You're bringing the car, you bringing it back next year?
Yeah, the car will be here next year, new car.
You won't be showing it anywhere else, only at the Nats, is that right?
No, that'll be it. It'll be the first show. It'll be at the Summernats.
People will be looking out for you next year, okay?
Yeah, no problems.
Peter Fitzpatrick preparing an incredible V8 early Holden for the show. Put a heap of work in, but the guy worked so hard for this event. Unfortunately, we just didn't have time to get the car finished. It's Paul Coburn. I think it's from Paddington. Now, Paul, being a staffer from a magazine that essentially doesn't cover the street machine scene, has come along here and has done everything that a street machiner entrant into Summernats would do in a Jag. And he's thoroughly enjoying himself. He knows now why you guys do this. Now, one of the nicest guys in drag racing in Australia today, and a fabricator of extremely good race car parts. This is Hugo Gianvincenzo, who works out of the John Taverner complex in Melbourne, fabricating. Hugo builds excellent race car parts. He makes an Australian-made automatic gearbox shifter. He resplines axles, builds mini spools for diffs and all that sort of thing. Like Hugo's in a peak, his association with Taverner. Well, that's the guardrail, but he didn't get it, so we'll cross to John Tuddy for an interview with John Heaney.
John, you're about to go up on the line there. Can you tell me that the car that you use, is it an advantage of having an open style car?
Yeah, it's a bit of an advantage with the open wheels and that. You can see the line and everything.
Have you been doing much practice since last year?
I haven't did any at all.
We're going to find that hard to believe, John. So is anything you can pass on to the other entrants down there?
Just try your hardest.
We'll see you out there, John. Okay, back to you, Mel.
James Muscat from Blacktown in New South Wales. A little red Tirana hatchback on camera now. Good number plate on that. Oz 5000. The guy never liked the big SLR 5000. That was pretty good. And here's last year's winner. Put your hands together for the guy. A big achievement last year. John Heaney, driving the family hot rod. They've had it for yonks. And the axle on the front of this car is a little bit out of whack because John leaned it on the guardrail. There's a little bit of negative but right on the line. Like he said, driving a T-bucket's like wheeling a wheelbarrow. Must be more Tiranas in the ACT than anywhere else in the world. Well, the local Tirana club's pretty strong here at Summernats. The other, really with a whole bunch of horsepower there on the Go-to-Woke track this afternoon. Here's a Mazda that really sounds good. That's a 383 283 Chev. No, we got a 383 Chev, which is a stroke 3. It wasn't content with putting a small block Chev in there. Stroker motor in there, so got an extra 33 cubic inches out of it. So extra 4 cubic. About a quarter stroker in the car, or an 8th stroker, but a V8 in that little Mazda. David McGaw, here he is, quick draw McGaw. Owned the car for 1.5 years. And that is a tough little car. McGraw. First time he's ever come to the Summernats as an entrant, and his mate Gary has been videoing the car all weekend. They've got some footage himself, and he's listed his occupation as building cars. This is Dave Morris from Blacktown in New South Wales with a 13B rotary. Really big one. Pretty good stop, doesn't have to be a... This is a really nice car that was here in this competition last year. One of the leaders in the graphic field last year. Good stop for Mark Yardy, and here's a car we haven't seen. Terry West from Everton, the ACT. And he's a hardware salesman for Mitre 10. He doesn't handle a hot rod too badly either. Make inquiries at the Summernats office later. Overshoot by a mile for the Tirana. That's unfortunate. That is a very nice looking car. The injector's up through the bonnet, but a heck of an overshoot. So he's wasted that run. Vincent Westfold now in the Holden Gemini with the 13B rotary installed in it. So Chook Cooker sure makes some horsepower. You try those tyres like that. It also has a nitrous kit attached to it, so there'll be a pretty bit of a handful of a Gemini. And Vincey Westfold's a tool maker by trade, which is pretty handy if you're into fabrication. Good clean hole out off the start line. Here he goes, slides over the finish line by a mile and a half. David Mizzy. Now this guy's half a bet in this big car. So Ford fans, put your hands together for David Mizzy. Victorian applaud him. So he's half a bet. Car is Mars Red. He's here at Summernats with his wife. He's a carpenter by trade. Comes from Altona in Victoria. A pretty smart looking XY Falcon with a smart looking star. Can't tell from there. Good hole out, good clean hole out. Let's see how he goes in the braking department. Up to it and right on it. Right on it. A good run for David Mizzy. We're very interested to see the results. Good run with a big car like that set up with big and little. That was excellent. And one for the South Australians now. And the Crow Eaters here. We've got a nice little 6-cylinder Tirana. Jason Perrin. Bogged down from the start line. The braking department could solve all that problem. Just too short. Jason blew it. Sorry about old son, you dropped that brick. Here's another one of those big red tough Fords. Nice looking car, boy. Got our XB here this weekend. You sure can cram some rubber under those back guards. But Terry did very well early in the piece, and for such a big heavy car, it's quite an achievement to get there. Good clean leave. Car is a C4 automatic, so it'll help. And a good stop. Yes, right on the start, right on the finish line. Anybody's in this. And here's the little chook cooker again. David Morris from Blacktown. Right on the button. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Right on the line. And there's a picture of the on our monitor here, a great sight. I hope you're all having as good a time as it looks here through the video. axle tramp, but a good start. Smoke from the front tyres and too short. And for David McGaw is from Ethelong, which is up near Gosford. One of the guys that filled in his information sheet correctly, because I have no idea where it is. Wollongong and Binalong and Kickatinalong and Maravac is. The RX3 has got the fastest time so far in the finals, an 8.07. But quick draw McGaw, we're relying on you, boy. Lone car win it. Don't muck it up now, son. Smoke from the front tyres. Oh, a bit too far. Overshoot. Waste of time. Here we are. The XK Jag, Paul Coburn, one of the staffers from Wheels magazine, with an incredible motor car. I mean, so Jags are just so cool. I think he overshot. Yes, he did. You blew it, chum. Okay, over to John Tuddy now on the start line with the winner of the Go-to-Woe competition, David Morris.
Milton, this is rather an amazing story. Remember we had a call earlier on that a guy lost his key, or his mate had the key. Well, This is the guy who was frankly running around to find out where the hell my key is. It was David here.
Well, he's come well under pressure.
Not only did he make it to the track, but he went to Go-to-Woe. Congratulations, Dave.
Thanks very much, mate.
Mate, what'd you do to the fella who had your keys?
He's a good friend, so I'll let him off.
He's very lucky. Congratulations, everybody else here, mate. A terrific run.
Thanks very much. I hope to keep it up.